What's up, guys? I've got a fun one for you today. I'm going to give you sort of a peek behind the curtain and show you a couple items that I worked on when I was an intern at Hasbro that never got made, but should have. All right, guys, thanks for checking out this new video. I'm always looking for cool new things to talk to you guys about. I know you guys really love when I kind of give you a peek behind, the wizard's curtain and see the inner workings of the toy industry, and really no one's kind of doing it, but I feel like it's stuff that you guys should know and it's cool to talk about. And giving you guys that behind the scenes look at how things are made and why things are made, or the reasoning behind maybe something doesn't get made. So today I thought it'd be fun to talk about two items I worked on when I was an intern on the G.I. Joe brand way back in 2010 at Hasbro. Me being a lifelong G.I. Joe fan, I know that surprises some people, but yes, I'm a lifelong G.I. Joe fan. So when I was in school and I got the call to become a last-minute intern at Hasbro, and they told me I was going to be on G.I. Joe, I was like so ecstatic. I was like, this is like a dream come true. So, I was going through the process of going back to school because I wanted to get my toy degree design to be able to get back to Hasbro to work there. So being able to do an internship prior to, me actually doing my toy design program was really great experience. And, I got there and it was like immediate fun. They were deep in the Pursuit of Cobra era of G.I. Joe. This is after the first movie, and they're like, all right, well, what's next? And it was like deep in Pursuit of Cobra and start of Renegades, the animated show. So I got to work on a lot of stuff from Pursuit of Cobra and Renegades, and you're always working on concept stuff. And two things I'm going to talk about today were items that were, they call it like an anniversary item. It's basically if an item does well, or a certain SKU, they're like, all right, how can we anniversary that and do another iteration of it? So there was during the Pursuit of Cobra line, or actually it was Pursuit of Cobra, they had done these mech suits, and the mech suits were actually part of the Sigma 6 line, and then they brought them back out and they made them for Pursuit of Cobra, and they thought that they did really well, so they're like, all right, well, what's the next iteration of the mech suits? And my boss at the time, who was, a legend on, the 25th anniversary Pursuit of Cobra stuff, he was like, hey, you want to work on these mech suits? Come up with two new characters, but they can't be any new tooling, and it has to be all kit bashed, and the mech suits have to be kit bashed as well. So literally, I was just cobbling parts together. So I was looking through parts of Joe's and parts of the mech suits all over my desk trying to figure out what to do. And I was like, all right, well, what can I do for the themes of them? And I was like, fire and ice. It would be cool to do a winterized mech suit and a desert mech suit. And I ended up choosing Desert Scorpion and Alpine. And I was a huge Desert Scorpion fan as a kid. He was one of my favorite figures from 1990. So good, and they hadn't done him yet in the 25th anniversary. Now, they had done Alpine, but the classic version of Alpine. So I was like, all right, how can I do this? Now, at the time, there was an Arctic Duke figure that never got released. So I'd seen the figure, and I was like, oh, maybe I can use those parts to make Alpine. And then, so I started with Alpine first, because he was the easier of the two. And, I basically just took that Duke body and threw an Alpine head on it and made him like a parka, Arctic kind of Alpine. And, I wanted to do when you see mountain climbers on Everest and stuff like that, they get really bright colors so you could see them. So that's what I did for the deco with him, put really bright colors on him. Same thing with the mech suit. I ended up making it, blaze orange, with gray. And then we put, the frost on the windshield of it. I'm trying to remember the name of this one. I think this was the Arctic Wolf or the Ice Wolf or something. And then this was the Cobra Minotaur. So This was cool. You know, again, easy to do, just kit bash stuff. So, you know, I kind of got Alpine out of the way. And then I was like really psyched about doing Desert Scorpion because he was like my favorite of the two that I was doing. And I was like, I'm gonna put some real, like, not that I didn't put love into this one, but Desert Scorpion was my jam. So made the cool mech suit, gave him like cool, like bronzish browns colors. And he's got some like almost like digital camo all over him. He's got this big giant Gatling gun that I just knocked off. But these things were all like modular and you could change the arms and stuff. So they were easy to, you know, kit bash. And I only had X amount of parts to use, like this missile launcher, this grappling hook, this radar dish, and this Gatling gun were kind of like the only things I can use. So it's just a matter of, well, what would the previous ones come with that I can make these ones come with? So then the figure was the hard part because it was like there really wasn't much you could do. You had to get really, really creative. And I felt like I did a good job for what I had. Now, these were like dated 25th anniversary bodies because the Pursuit of Cobra and, you know, Retaliation stuff got really, really good as far as like construction and sculpt and articulation. But, you know, I had to use 25th anniversary parts. So I ended up using, these are like the Hiss Driver's lower legs. I think Snake Eyes' thighs with that knife sheath. This is a Zartan torso. I think one of the twins' arms or the Dreadnought arms. And then to Desert Scorpion had this sort of balaclava face, but then he had like this soft goods, like almost like Dusty hat covering the back of him. So I was like, how are you gonna pull that off? So I basically took a Snake Eyes head and then a Night Creeper sash, like that headdress, and we glued it on. And it almost looked like one of those shamas on the face. And it was like, you know, you put a bandolier on him and it worked. And that was like Desert Scorpion. So it worked for what you needed it to do. And it was just fun to do. So, you know, I made them and, you know, I even came up with all the sticker sheets that went for them. So like the Minotaur logo was on here. This one doesn't have them. But it was cool to do the decal sheet as well and the deco sheet. So I like did it all, you know, and I was like really psyched as an intern, like cool, like these are gonna get made. And then like, I think they ended up like showing them at like a JoeCon or something like that year, but then they never got made. They cut that SKU. That happens all the time. Items you can get, I've seen items when I was working on Marvel get all the way to production. We had an item on a cross sell and then they cut that item from the line. So people are like, what was that? Well, how come that one didn't come out and stuff? So that happens all the time. For many reasons, items can get cut and they can get cut early on in production and we can get all the way to production. Like I worked on items where we tooled new parts and they still canceled the item. So it's just the changing of the time. So it's like, it's a long journey for something to go from concept to production, and a lot can happen in between. So fortunately, I left my internship. I wasn't there anymore. These got canceled for whatever reasons. And then, you know, when I'd come back to Hasbro for my second internship with Marvel, you know, I said to my, you know, who was my boss when I was an intern, I was like, oh, you know, did they ever get made? He said, no, they got canceled. And I was like, oh, it's a real bummer. You know, so it was, you know, I was like, okay, well, I worked on them, but too bad they didn't get made. But then what happens is the way some unreleased stuff kind of gets out on the market is when it goes through production, people from the factory will end up leaking stuff out or getting stuff out or selling it. So it's not intended to get out, but you know, I've had parts on Action Force stuff kind of get out, but we stopped it, you know, in time. It's like, but if you have like a big, huge line, like it seemed like when I was on Marvel, the Comic-Con items would always leak every year. You know, it's just inevitable because you have all these people working at the factory and, you know, you have a day crew and a night crew and it's like, is everyone being watched? And it's like, if they have to destroy stuff and they put it in a shred bin, is it really getting shred? You don't know. So then stuff gets out and it gets, you know, it gets sold on the secondary market. So one day I had seen these on eBay and I was like, no way. Like they actually, like they got made. Like they got made and like I just found out the line the items got canceled. I didn't know like they made it to production. So like these are production samples. And I was like, no way. And it was like, they were going for like a crazy amount of money at the time because it was new and fresh and no one knew what they were. So then I was like, man, it'd be cool to like get a set of those. And then it wasn't until like a year or two later, I was still in school. I hadn't gotten back to Hasbro yet. Another set came on, and I was like, you know what, I really want those. And I like probably overpaid for them, but I wanted them because I was like, I worked on them, and it's like they got out. You know, you can't do anything about it. But I was like, I wanted them, so I bought them. And these are the ones that I bought on eBay just because I felt like I wanted them in my collection. The cool thing was, is this Alpine, I guess they tried decoing them 2 different colors because this one had like brown and this one had green. Now, when I spec the colors, I spec the green. So I don't know if they changed it along the way or they spec the wrong color and then they corrected it. But it was cool because it came with two versions, and then Desert Scorpion was Desert Scorpion. But it was fun to now have these in my collection because it was something that I was passionate about and also that I worked on. You know, I put a lot of effort into making these, and I was really proud of the way they came out. So, you know, to be able to had the chance to get them, you know, and a lot of unreleased stuff makes it out on the secondary market due to, factory workers and things like that. So it's unfortunate. It's part of the business. But it worked out for me because I got these and I got to see them, and I still love them. I still look at them, and they're really important to me because it's like it was part of my toy design career. You know, it's like my career spanned from, I think I started doing freelance toy design stuff in 2007 or 2006, and now it's like here we are, 2024, and I look back on like doing freelance work and then internships and then all the different places that I've been and all the different items that I worked on. Some stuff, got produced, or a lot of things got produced, and some stuff didn't. Some stuff got produced that I wasn't proud of, so it's just like there's so much of it, but these are ones that are kind of important to me just because of, the passion that I had for the brand and, the fun that I had working on them. So hope you guys enjoyed that little backstory, but I do have a little bonus for you guys. Talking about, the factory end of things and how, stuff gets made and then, kind of makes it out the door. Other things can happen there as well. And there's a little story behind this figure right here. This, guys that are big fans of like, prototypes and unreleased figures, there was always this rumor of this volcano viper. That's what it was called when it was being like sold on eBay. It was the volcano viper, the unreleased volcano viper. And I was like, wow, that was really funky. So this one I borrowed from a friend for this video because I was like, hey man, I want to talk about this because it's fun because not everyone knows the history of this. The thing is, this is a fake. This, and by fake, I mean like it was never intended to be an item that Hasbro produced. My boss, that was my boss when I was an intern, and he was the only one running the G.I. Joe brand. I asked him one day, I was like, hey, what's up with that volcano viper? And he said that was a fake. He said, I never designed that figure. That was never a figure that had intended to be in the line. What happened was, some factory workers decided to take some parts, and this was an actual like one of the parts of it were just kip etched. It's not even kip etched. This was an actual figure in the Rise of Cobra line. They just decoed him differently. So they used all the same spray mask and they just decoed him these colors. So this is like a factory worker, maybe one or two, saying, hey, let's make these figures and like sell them on the secondary market. Is it like it's an unreleased figure? So that's the story behind the Volcano Viper. So, everyone that thinks this is a real unreleased figure, it is not. This is a fake that it was confirmed by the guy on the G.I. Joe brand. This was never intended to be an item in the line. It was just factory workers having fun and doing something crazy. So hopefully you like that little tidbit of knowledge on the Volcano Viper. So hopefully I didn't disappoint some of you that, are like, no, it's real. No, it's actually fake and it has been confirmed. So that's the story of Volcano Viper. Hope you guys enjoyed that little bonus to go with my mech suit discussion. Hope you guys enjoy the channel. We got new content coming out every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you like and subscribe, turn on your notifications, and we'll see you on the next video.